Hello and very warm welcome to Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. Following are the news headlines which have been reported by American, European, Asian, Canadian, African, and Australian news channels and AFP, AP, Reuters, news agencies. So now please let's watch the news headlines.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book. Some lawmakers releasing an image they claim is the letter from President Epstein. The House Oversight Committee taking the booking subpoenaed documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, including that book and the letters inside, including one reportedly by President Trump, including the line saying certainties in common. Tonight, the president denies writing the letter. Also breaking news as we come on the air here in the West tonight, a massive wildfire exploding outside multiple residents. Tonight, harrowing images, a jet overshooting the runway in Boca Raton, Florida, and a scare for passengers flying to the Caribbean on this jet. The jet appearing to lose its right landing gear the moment it hits away. Images from inside the cabin, passengers escaping down emergency slides. Tonight, police say a 13-year-old planning school and living inside the family home. The horrific attack, ABC News obtaining chilling images. Police say the suspect sitting behind an unsuspecting passenger on a train, rising up and then attacking her. Other passengers trying to save her. Like the Supreme Court giving President Trump a major victory in his immigration crackdown, and the president igniting a firestorm by posting an image referencing bringing a war to Chicago. Jury selection underway tonight for the suspect accused in the attempted assassination of President Trump while he was golfing near Mar-a-Lago. Celebrating a West Point alumni group that is now canceled in honor for actor Tom Hanks. Hanks has been a tracker not now in this city. Images of slamming into a bus, at least 10 people killed, dozens injured. She was competing in an online survival show. She was lost in the woods. Tonight, the country music star and his wife and the loss of their new baby. And we remember a singer and songwriter, and you'll definitely know his music. From ABC News World Headquarters.
Showing you a video showing the last moments of a Ukrainian refugee's life right before being stabbed to death by a What's happening?
Todd Pyro, look, she's just on her phone, has no idea what's about to happen. Todd Pyro is with us. Hey, Todd.
The most horrific video, or at least one that I think we've seen on this program. This video obtained by station shows 23-year-old Zarutska. She was boarding the train in Charlotte, North Carolina last month. She took a seat right in front of the alleged suspect, but around 4 minutes later, the suspect pulls out a knife and just begins stabbing the victim 3 times, including once in her neck. The suspect later wandered through the train before exiting at the next stop. He was arrested shortly after the stabbing, hospitalized thereafter, before being arrested on a charge of first-degree murder. Records obtained by the New York Post shows he has a lengthy history dating back more than a decade, including felony larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and communicating threat. He served 5 years for a 2014 robbery and was released in 2020, but was arrested just 5 months later for assaulting his sister. Officials also say he was homeless at the time killing and believe it was a random attack. Zarutska was pronounced dead at the scene. Her family saying she came to the U.S. to escape war-torn Ukraine. They say in a statement, quote, "Tragically, her life was cut short far too soon. This is an irreparable loss for her family." The suspect currently being held without bond. Back over to you.
My gosh. That could happen to anyone. I mean, what Lawrence was saying, that could be anybody sitting in that chair. You don't know what's behind you. And this guy, why is he out on the streets?
You see, before he stood up and with his knife, like he's smirking. You see him smirking there, like, I'm about to attack this woman who is about to get stabbed. She's just coming off her job at Victoria. And it turns out, one of the things she was doing in Ukraine, compiling stories of Russian invasion.
My God.
So to be clear, this guy deserves the death penalty for his acts, but it's premeditated. The way he looked to stand up on his neck. He's a repeat offender. He had already committed larceny, a deadly weapon. And because our criminal justice system keeps wanting to reimagine things, when people are violent offenders and have weapons, they don't deserve to be back on the street. I don't care if he's homeless or not. If people have mental mental health issues, give them the services they need. Don't have to tolerate them in society while you guys try to figure out a new way of doing the justice system. We're seeing this in every major city. And it's not just like, okay, it's a limited day there. They spread out all across the street.
But Elon Musk, he said, why are people not talking about this crime? And the mayor comes out and says, I'm so glad you guys are not talking about the crime. We don't want to give this. No.
On this day, tariff relief, the federal government's plans to support the East. We are strong. Plus, gambling with their future.
They're naturally brought.
Governments form the Canadian economy on Friday. We now more of that. Southern. So how far? Strong.
St. John does about the announcement out like a felon. Can't be beat.
We can create that rising tide that lifts all boats.
Meant to bolster national pride in the face of ongoing tariffs. Now those sentiments coming with cash for businesses in Atlantic Canada feeling the financial pressure. Companies will offer 80 million for region remote.
Is that we target on where we can get the biggest value.
But as for who exactly will qualify and how long it will take to get funded,
Is going to be the details. Are the going to be well adapted to the smaller types of firms, and or is it going to be common?
Good morning, it's 6 o'clock on today.
Contest. Left-wingers are already accusing leadership of the mother of politics. Day. The new Labour cabinet meets in Downing Street for the first time. Sources report cards to like criticism from teachers. Prince Harry talks to children at an awards ceremony about the challenges of having a big brother. And though Santo is out, Nottingham Forest sacked their most successful manager since Brian Clough. Good morning, everyone. Well, the Democrats have released a new birthday letter sent to Jeffrey Epstein that appears to be signed by Donald Trump. The White House has rejected the claims, calling the card to the convicted sex offender a fake. Now, part of the document also includes messages from the UK's ambassador to Washington, Peter Mandelson. Our US correspondent James Matthews reports.
This is the
Africa News. The news.
Many Ethiopians are looking forward to finally getting connected to the national electricity grid once the country's new mega dam becomes fully operational. Ethiopia's controversial Grand Renaissance Dam is being inaugurated this Tuesday, 14 years after its construction began. Among those celebrating is 38-year-old Fanusi Adete. She lives just 10 kilometers outside Addis Ababa and raises her 7 children alone. For her, the dam is a welcome achievement.
No.
Our daily lives used to rely on kerosene lamps and charcoal, which pose significant challenges. We would transport firewood to the market, selling it to buy kerosene and bread for our children. But with the completion of the dam, our entire community is now happy. The dam is expected to produce more than 5,000 megawatts, doubling Ethiopia's current output. The country insists it is a crucial development to help pull many of its citizens out of poverty. I'm excited with the progress of the dam, and we want to see more development. We also want more electricity to be part of our daily life, and we're all excited as members of the community. Ethiopia insists the dam will not only benefit its more than 100 million people, but also its neighbors.
So the way forward is let's work together for more investment. Let's join hands to propose for more projects that can benefit both of us, whatever it will be. This can scale up to 90 basic countries, to Uganda, to Tanzania, to Rwanda, to DRC, to South Sudan, to Kenya, to Ethiopia, to Egypt as well. I think that is the way we have to see the situations.
The project has raised concerns from Egypt and Sudan over the potential reduction of water levels downstream, and tensions remain high.
M23 rebels recaptured the town of Soa in eastern DRC's North Kivu province just one day after it briefly fell under the control of the Congolese army and the pro-government Wazalendo militia. Residents say the rebels launched a surprise offensive early Sunday, forcing the Wazalendo to retreat. The town of Soa sits in Masisi territory, a region rich in minerals and a hotbed of violence for over 3 months as rebels and government forces battle for control. This latest clash comes despite ongoing peace efforts. In July, the DRC and rebel groups including M23 signed a ceasefire in Doha. The fighting has only intensified. The Congolese government, the UN and Western nations accuse Rwanda of backing M23, a claim Kigali strongly denies. Just last week, M23 and a clash underscoring the frustrated security.
A 16-year-old teenager was arrested on Monday over the killing of 2 police officers in a shotgun attack in a police station in western Turkey, the country's interior minister said. The assault took place in the Balkova district of Izmir, Turkey's third largest city. Local authorities said 2 other police officers and a civilian were injured in the attack. The perpetrator of the incident, a 16-year-old man, has been apprehended. His connections are being investigated. I offer my condolences to our entire police force. Footage shared by Turkish broadcasters showed the assailant wearing a black balaclava and holding. Local officials said the suspect train station and went injured his arrest. Interior Minister Ali Kaya said his motives are under investigation.
blood moon because of its red shadowy hue. On its named residents of the Middle Eastern cities of Dubai, Jerusalem and Baghdad got a prime view as Earth's shadow obscured this weekend's full moon as the home planet lined up perfectly between the moon and the sun. Sunday's eclipse was visible across Asia from Saudi Arabia to the Philippines, as far north as the Arctic Ocean, all the way down to Antarctica. Parts of East Africa and the western half of Australia also got to see it. The rest of Africa and Australia, as well as Europe, saw some but not all of the action. The spectacle lasted 1 hour and 22 minutes, and the entire show, starting with the first dusky bite of the moon, spanned more than 5 hours.
Tonight, President Trump's alleged birthday drawing to Jeffrey Epstein released the want you know part of a book of birthday messages to the convicted sex offender, discovering a trove of documents subpoenaed from Epstein's estate. The White House denied it, saying it's not the president's signature, what they are showing reporters tonight. Also, the immigration crackdown now underway in Chicago, dubbed Operation Midway Blitz. The raids in the third most populated city in the U.S., and the pushback from the mayor saying it's been the safest summer in decades. The buses are attacked. 6 people slumped gunmen in opening fires, sending roughness as they intensified. The horrific smash and grab at a jewelry store or car, ramming into the business, more than a dozen thieves rushing, landing over to the ground. Then tonight for suspects. A rescue on a Texas overpass, how a deputy ended up dangling for his life, and the heroes who came to his rescue. And taking history to new speak with one of the now next generation Tuskegee Airmen, how she's bringing the legacy forward. Plus the rumored royal reunion. Prince Harry back in the UK, so will he meet with his estranged father, King Charles? Top story starts right now.
demonstration sweep Los Angeles began a crackdown in the Boston area.
It's a surge of law enforcement officers. High in America, the Acapulco of years.
This is the old style of rolling a joint.
More older Americans are getting high on marijuana.
And when Sam went batting, Dad surrendered a home run ball.
I just decided to make it end. Give her the ball and be happy that she goes away.
This is the CBS Evening News.
Urges Palestinians to leave ramps and round off the race.
George.
Is fires forcibly the demolitions by robots that place signals inside homes. 32 Palestinians so far today, officials and the rescue unit.
CW News, and these are our top stories. Mr. Francois Bayrou has lost a confidence vote in Parliament, bringing his 9 months in office to an end and plunging France's government into turmoil. Lawmakers had opposed Bayrou's plans for deep public spending cuts to rein in debt. President Emmanuel Macron will now have to appoint France's 5th Prime Minister in 2. At least 19 people have been killed in the Nepalese capital Kathmandu after police clashed with protesters outside the Parliament building. Dozens more were injured after police fired rubber bullets and live ammunition. Demonstrators are demanding the government tackle corruption and lift its recent ban on several social media sites. Authorities in Israel say these people have been and many more injured at a Jerusalem bus stop. Police say the 2 Palestinian attackers were shot and killed at the scene. The incident took place on a road that leads to Jewish settlements in occupied East Jerusalem. This is DW News from Berlin. You can get much more on our website. That's dw.com.
Asia Now.
It's 12 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 9:30 in New Delhi, and 11 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Rani Samtani at this hour. Former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra back in courts as judges prepare to deliver a crucial verdict on whether he properly served a prison sentence. Nepal's Prime Minister orders investigation into the deadly protest that killed 19 people hours after revoking a controversial social media ban. He says his government is not in favor of stopping the online forms. And Indonesia's president replaces key economic and security ministers days after deadly demonstrations revolved. Markets react sharply with the rupee falling and investors concerned about the government's next moves.
Take back illegal migrants who face visa sanctions.
That's the Home Secretary's message to countries like Nigeria and Pakistan that refuse to take back their nationals.
But is this the tough hand Britain's been lacking, or just another gimmick?
The race to find Labour's next deputy leader begins. Who might put their hat in the ring? We'll be finding out just that this morning. Damning new league tables expose the state of the NHS, with the best and worst hospitals named and shamed.
The Duke's big donation Prince Harry prepares to give back to a children's charity as he carries on with his UK visit, but there's no word on whether a meeting with his father or brother is going to happen.
French politics in crisis. The government collapses there for a fourth time in less than because jeopardise the Channel migrant returns deal.
What's your top spending priority? We'll be talking about that, as it's revealed almost half of us put holidays above dining out.
And finishing touches are being added to a life-size sculpture of a Lancaster bomber in Lincolnshire on a World II RAF cruise.
For you, dear, I'd do anything.
I do believe that's true.
That really is. And as a new TV series, The Roses, highlights the changing role of men, we're asking, should there be more stay-at-home dads?
And sport this morning, Nottingham Forest have sacked their manager Nuno Espirito Santo after leading them to Europe last season. Scotland stay on course for a place in next year's World Cup with a win in Belarus, but that was behind closed doors. And tonight, England head to a big
This is DW News and these are our top stories. French Prime Minister François Bayrou has lost a confidence vote in Parliament, bringing his 9 months in office to an end and plunging France's government into turmoil. Lawmakers had opposed Bayrou's plans for deep public spending cuts to rein in debt. President Emmanuel Macron will now have to appoint France's 5th Prime Minister in 2 years. At least 19 people have been killed in the Nepalese capital Kathmandu after police clashed with protesters outside the parliament building. Dozens more were injured after police fired rubber bullets and live ammunition. Demonstrators are demanding the government tackle corruption and lift its recent ban on several social media sites. Authorities in Israel say at least 6 people have been killed and many more injured in a shooting at a Jerusalem bus stop. Police say the 2 Palestinian attackers
Hello and a warm welcome. If you're just joining us, you're watching Daybreak here on France 24. These are the headlines. French President Emmanuel Macron ready to accept the resignation of his 6th Prime Minister. François Bayrou ousted from office with calls for fresh elections or even for the President himself to go. Trapped, starving, being told to outrun the bombs. Palestinians in Gaza facing ever heavier attacks by Israel. Another high-rise in the city of Gaza bombed by the Israeli army, with more people killed across the region. Ethiopia celebrates, Egypt regrets it. A giant hydroelectric dam 14 years in the making finally opens. It will bring energy to millions of Ethiopians, but countries further downstream fear it could cut their freshwater supplies. Glad you could join us. Also coming up, our international press review. It, among other things, will be looking at the Wall Street Journal publishing a crude birthday letter written by Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein that the US president had said didn't exist.
government introduces Australia's first treaty legislation to state parliament.
Aboriginal people will get to have a say, and they'll be partners in this journey.
ANZ's new boss defends the decision to cut thousands of jobs, saying it's a last resort. Thailand's Supreme Court sentences former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra to 1 year in prison, finding he had not adequately served an 8-year sentence. And Lachlan Murdoch seizes control of his father's media empire, ending a bitter family dispute. Hello and welcome to ABC News. Australian history is being made in the Victorian Parliament with a treaty bill being tabled. Once it passes Parliament, the legislation will pave the way for a formal treaty between First Nations Australians and the state government. A First Peoples body will be established to lead the ongoing truth-telling process and decisions on laws affecting Indigenous people. The bill has been drafted after months of negotiations.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.